All right, so this video is going to um, go through, just another example of inheritance where you have a person at the superclass level, then you have a student and a teacher. Student and teacher are both subclasses of the superclass person, and international student is a specific type of student, so its subclass is a subclass of student, which student would be the superclass to international student. Now, yes, on the last one I showed you guys this example, and so this is just another example. It's not going to be a whole lot different, but kind of with everything I do, I drill home and give you guys as many examples as possible. At the same time, I like starting off with this UML model because you should be able by now to look at these things and program directly to NetBeans. You got a person. A person's going to have a name and an address, both strings. This is the person's constructor. So constructors will just be public, and so name, and they're expecting name and address from main. Then there's a mutator method that's void, so set name gets passed in. We get the name. That should be uppercase string. Same with this one. And so get name is your accessor method to get the name and return it back into main. And here's your set address, where you can pass the address and set the variable, and then you can get it and return it back to main. A student knows its school name and they know their grade, but name and address are both supered in from person. Okay, school and grade are specific to student, so they're put in there. But the inheritance occurs when name and address get passed into here. And extended in, I guess you'd say, that'd be a better word. Teacher, on the other hand, they know their name and address, but they're also going to know the subject matter that they teach. So subject matter is new specifically to teacher. So you can set the subject, get the subject, and students can set the school, get the school, set the grade, get the grade. Let's see here. Maybe setting the grade is not what students should be allowed to do either. So, but anyway, this is what we got for now. That was just kind of a thought that ran across my head. International student, they're gonna get supered in the name, address, the school, and the grade. They're gonna get supered in from the person, but which got it from the student, and the school and grade will be supered in from the student class, and their country will be specific to this class here, so they can set the country and get the country. So I created the main here, so let's just start off. We'll just say person information, and I guess I'll just do one at a time, okay? So person 1 is going to equal a new person. And I'm going to demonstrate a couple things here. So right click new Java class, and we'll call it person. All right, so I do want, so let's say public person. I do want them to be able to, pass in the name and address. So then we would say what, private, my name, my address. Okay. But this should work. It doesn't, huh? Well, ideally there's supposed to be a hidden constructor in here that you don't see that's it doesn't accept anything, but that's fine. Let's just do this. So we'll pass in, I don't know, Dave Chappelle, because I've been watching this Chappelle show. And his address is 1234 XY Z Street. Okay. So that creates my person. And my person has, what do we got? Set name and get name. We screw this up. So public void set name. And we have to accept the string name, and my name will equal name. And then public string get name. And we will return my name. And last two. Let's go back on that. So we'll say set address. Okay, so that's basically that. Okay. So now we'll do some student information. So we'll say student and let's create the student class in here. So right click new, call it student. Okay, so student is going to extend the person, okay? So we got to make sure we put that up there. It's going to get screwed up. So extends person. And so we'll have a public student. And student has a name, an address, and a school, and a double grade. Okay, so we'll need to super in the my name, right? And the address. And we'll say what will we say here? My school Okay, we want to make sure our variables are private, so I did that there because we want to have private variables that can't be messed with within each class. They can only be changed in the class by the public methods and not by another class's, so we make them private. Okay, so then what do we need to do here? Look at this. So we need a set school gets, okay, so this is easy. So public void set school, and we'll pass in the school, and we'll say my school equals school. Pass in the grade. Return it. But what I want to do here, in order to test the stuff, I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to put it in here and force it. I don't know why it's not doing that, but it is what it is. That's fine right there. You can have a constructor with nothing in it. So that should be fixed. And then we'll say person 1 dot set name, and that's what I'll do the, oh man, this is what I'll do the Dave Chappelle, and person 1 dot set address. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. And I'll say student 1 dot set name, and we'll set it to, I don't know, I'm going to use a bunch of my old students from old classes. He was a really good student, so he got a 95, let's say. So set name and set address are not in student. You can't set the name in here or the address, but because they are, we extend person, student has access to the public methods. So set name and set address, I can do that, and that's fine, no problem. Okay. So let me make sure I got that name. Okay, cool. So I got all that. So then we'll do an international student. So we'll have international student. International student 1 equals new. Okay. So they'll get the name, address. What I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy all those. And then what else does international student know? They know their probably country. The only thing new, yep, is country. So string country. So we have a private string my country. So we'll super in name, address, school, and grade. But then my country will equal the country. And we got an error there because I never extends the student class. So that fixes that. And then I think we only have set country and get country. So then we got what, public void set country. We pass in the country. Okay. We can get the country. Okay. So let's go back in here and start setting up our variables. So enter okay, I'm going to copy this. So this student's going to be Austin Brown. Set address. He's an international student, so I'm going to say 1234 Canadian Street, because he's an international student, let's say from Canada. So then we can set the school and just say he goes to Canadian High School. And then we can set his grade. Now he's been struggling a little bit because all he does is travel and hasn't had a lot of time for studying. So then we can set his country to Canada. Okay. And now we got our teacher, last one, teacher. And we'll basically do the same thing that we've been doing. Okay. Okay, so the teacher will extend the person. So what does the teacher know? Teacher knows their subject. So private string subject. Okay. And this one will know and string. So we'll super in the name and the address, and then my subject will equal the subject. and then public void set subject. Gonna have string subject. All right. So now, we did that, and that. I think we've done everything. Now it's time to populate everything and test it all. Okay, so now we gotta, so we gotta say teacher1 dot set name. My name is Mike Seeley. Set address. Um, 555 Blah Street. And what else do I know? My subject. So teacher1 dot set subject. And my subject is AP Computer Science. Okay, so now we got to display all this wonderful information. So display person. All right, so this is where we test and make sure everything comes out correctly. So displaying names of all object instances. Okay, so all right, so that's that. So we're making sure on these ones that our inheritance comes through. Because remember, get name and get address don't exist in the student class. They exist in the person class. So it's up to you to test this stuff. And it takes a long time. So sorry, I'm not really talking a lot. I just know I got to plug and chug a ton of information here. So then student knows what to get what. The get school, get grade. So get school Alright, so I'm going to try to do this without screwing up too much stuff. Because it's getting to be a lot to type out. So the international student also can get their country. Alright, so a teacher is a little bit easier to write out. They're going to have everything the person has. And then teacher can it's not good. Oh well, let's just do it. Teacher get subject okay, so I think that's it. So we run this and let's see if everything gets populated correctly. Hopefully we don't have any errors. Alright, and you know what, I'm going to copy this. I can't make that larger right there. So let's do a notepad and look at this in a little bit larger font. So you guys can see if, and then we can go back and kind of compare. Because those at least are, so we got Dave Chappelle, 12345, XYZ Street, Harrison Williams, okay, with his grade, Austin Brown, Canadian high school, he's got an 80, he's from Canada. And the teacher's 555 Bloss Street, AP Computer Science. Now, did I? Okay, there's Mike Seeley. Okay, so, and then I had, yep. So, I have tested every single method in this for each, for each class. You know, I demonstrated the UML model and how this works, how you extend the information, how you super the information. You'll want to key on this because you're going to have to write these on your own. I could totally see them doing something like this for the AP question. You know, giving you something like this and you having to write, you know, some classes where you have to show how you extend the information and super all the variables in from the superclass and all that. So make sure you guys are typing this out. I find that kids, I think strings are the hardest topic and hardest chapter, but for some reason, like, this is almost like the second hardest chapter and kids freak out, and I'm going, this stuff is pretty easy in my mind if you just remember, you know, just a few different terms, you know, extends and super and, you know, again, I really like the UML model, so you should be using the UML model, and remember, like, an international student is a student, A student is a person. Now, is a person necessarily a student? No. So that's why person couldn't be below student on our hierarchy. A teacher is a person, but is a person necessarily a teacher? No. So the is-a relationships are important to understand and know. But again, make sure you guys are typing this out and studying this, because I do find students, a lot of students don't do very well in this chapter, and I don't know why. It's not really that difficult, but anyway, this video's done.